Hello, good morning all. Um, this is another video for JSF web development, and today we shall discuss the following. Anyway, this has been done already. Okay, the connection has been done. We're going to discuss the insertion of tuples into DB. Alongside, this has to be created: the managed bin, the DAO, and the model. I wouldn't want us to waste most of our time here. Let's go into the source code. This is a project, a project that we have started, but some pages were implemented. Let me run this. This is an example of a page that has been implemented with GSF and some other frameworks, and it is for a software called Result Logic. This is for school or faculty enrollment. Let's cite an example so we see how it works. For example, let's say Faculty of Arts and Humanity. Let's say it is FAH, for example. Institution, let me say Amadou Bello University. Zaria. For example, if you click on register, you see this is being captured. And now if you check from the data table, we have it here at serial number 10. But now we wanted to implement unit registration, which is this. This is our DB from Workbench, and this is the table. So this is what we want to implement. UI has not been built yet, so we're going to do two things at the same time. We have to build the UI for the unit, and as well as the functionalities that will enable tuples to be stored. So let's quickly start. To create a UI, you come to let me magnify so you can see what I'm doing. I think it's now visible, right? If you want to create UI, you come to web pages as a folder in your project. Right click, you go to new, and then you click on JSF page. If it is not there, if it is not anyway, JSF page will be there. But if it is not there, for example, if you right click new, if it is not found here, you come down to others, and then you select, this is web, right? And then you see it here, JSF page. Then you click, and you give it a name. The name is unit just enrollment, right? Unit enrollment, for example. All right, thank you. Unit enrollment. Then you click finish. So it has finished, and this is the UI. And as we can see, it's radiant.xhtml. Okay, .xhtml. And this, it comes handy with this template. So it is always good whenever you create a page, you should test it to make sure that it is running correctly, that there is no problem before you start working on. You see, it has run. Look at it. Hello Facelet. So now this is not what we wanted. Then let us go to the source code and begin to write the actual code we need there. Okay, this is header. At the head, let us give a title, unit enrollment. Why am I writing Unity? So here we don't need this. Now this is where you write your code. First thing you need to do is to embed navbar, if you have any, at the top before your container. But for now we are not going to introduce any navbar here. So let us just introduce the container, and this container is for Bootstrap, right? We want it to be as light as possible. So this is now the first thing we do. Next, we introduce a form, which is also for what? This form belongs to Bootstrap also, right? Then next is to introduce a panel. Okay, and then in the panel, if you like, you can give title. This title, when anything written there will be displayed in the panel at the top side of the panel. Let us say, let us write unit enrollment. Okay, if you go back to what we have done, you can run from there, or you just come to your browser and reload. If you have not done any rigorous changes, it will run. Unless if you touch your managed bin, then it will ask you to redeploy. Can you see what is there? This is now what is called a panel. But then ideally we're supposed to give it a kind of space in between the main body and the container itself. So if you like, you introduce a div here, and then introduce a form. But you can just introduce a div and give a kind of space. You can use spacer, and then you describe the property of the height you want. Okay. Okay, it is complaining of P. In this page, we haven't used prime faces, so you have to import it. Sorry, it is this, not the first one. Can you see prime faces? You have to do an importation for it. You import the library. Let me see. We need let's say we need 50 pixels. If you go back and reload, can you see it has given you kind of distance between the body of the page? Are we there? All right. So let us now continue. This is what we want to implement, which of course the page is very much alike with this previous one, something like this, only that it differs from. So this is what we're going to actually implement here. Let us create the UI to look like this first. So then After this, we need that header. The header, maybe it is H1. If you like H1 or any. And then within there, you write unit enrollment. Alright? And after this, let us begin to use the bootstrap property and introduce our div. Of course, we need 12 columns, but from what we have here, of course, we need name, then we need the code, and we need department. But this is not what we are implementing. This is what we are implementing. We need the title, which is the name, we need the code, and we need the department. Are we there? So in one row, I need two different components. Is it? So let's introduce a row which is coming from Bootstrap, or boot faces rather. And this, within this row, I need what? A column. Okay, this is one column. Then I need another column for me to have two different components in one row. Are we understanding? So this very one, we're going to collect the title. Is it? Then B, input text. Input secret is for password. So it's represent any character written with what? Asterisk. But this is what we want. Okay. Then you give it an ID. Let us say title as an ID, because there could be situation whereby you want to do binding from your managed pane. You want to call what is being written there. Next, you need a label. The label is what? Unit. Okay. Next, you need if you need placeholder, you write something like supply unit. Okay, let me cut this first, and when we run the application, maybe then we'll come back for that. Let us reload, since nothing has been done at the managed pane, it will run. Okay, can you see what we have? Let me remove this zone. Can you see what I have? But you know, it has used all the what? The entire 12 div. That's because nothing has been written in the other column. Okay, so now you can write, you can do anything. But if I take this back and I reload, then it will write it here, supply unit. Are we there? If you need tip, you write tooltip. The tooltip. Unit title, for example. So when you reload and you hover your mouse around, can you see the tooltip? This box is for unit title. So there are a lot of things. We shouldn't waste time here. And then the most important thing is whether or not required. So let's check whether it is required or not. If you want to check on whether it is required or not, you have to introduce required. It's an attribute, right? Then it is a Boolean value. So if you say yes, then you need to have the required message. That is validation for the required message. If this has not been kind of adhered to, what will happen? We now say please supply what? Unit. Thank you. So now let's quickly do for let me do same for the next is unit code, right? Unit code, you need an ID, you need a label, unit code. There should be kind of this and then you also need a placeholder, tooltip, required, message, okay. The message says what? The required message says please supply unit code. Right? If you reload, okay. This I have to offset for it to understand that it has to be in same offset 1. Okay, it's true. Video on screen, and then the offset. Sorry, it's like I messed up something. Alright, also medium screen. Then it will then you offset. Alright. Maybe this is not let us apply column so we understand what we are doing currently, right? From the what is it, from background, let me just give I don't know what color I've given there, I cannot recall, but if you want to apply color or any formattings, you come up with style. This is what I mean by style. this style, then let's say background color, and then maybe you select the color chooser, and you choose from any how you want your color to be. Maybe something like this. Well, let it be light, not too dark. So I'm reloading. Okay, it has done for the background, and you know this is what is it this? This is a panel. So if you want the color to appear here, maybe you give a different color to the panel, and the panel here, you give style, and then background, and let's just select a color here. It could be something very light, so it doesn't interfere with what you have there. And also for your write-ups, you know, anything written at the background will be adhered to, unless if you supply another style on the component itself, then it will override it. Okay, for example, if I want to have a large, you know, these fonts are not, they are tiny, that's why some of us are not really seeing them. So but I can introduce font size and even font family. Font family means font type, font size is none. So you see, let me say I wanted to use let's say large, and let's see the whole thing here. What happened? It becomes smaller?
Yes.
No. Okay, maybe it was greater than large, you know, in the wrong place. So let's use extra large, or even extra large. And in this case, I'm not going to reload it here. Let me copy and use a different tab, so we can compare from the two. Can you see this and the previous one? All right, so now let's understand what we talked about, responsiveness. If this is the assumption here, we are using a kind of we are using what do you call it? This is a large screen, right? What if I have something like this? Can you see the responsiveness? Then if you reduce it, you see how it is adjusting automatically. This is because Bootstrap has been embedded. No one is the way you contracting it, and that's how it keep on giving you. Please let us centralize this one and give it a kind of you know, a space with say spacer. Can you recall what spacer is doing yesterday? This to give it, you just introduce an align here and give it center. Okay. I think it's better I zoom the screen than using that. And then when I introduce P separator, can you recall separator? You know, we discussed this yesterday, right? Then can you see one line it has created here? And is it okay? Now before we continue, what will happen if you click on the button where we ask to supply, if you do not supply anything here? You know, since it has been asterisk here, it is required. Message is supposed to pop up, right? So we didn't write where the message will come up. You see, this is our format, this is our container. So the message should be within the form, whether under panel or above panel, we don't have issue. Are we there? So if I write messages or message, then I will give it an ID, and this ID, let me say message. I'm going to always update this ID from my button. Are we there? And then if you want anything, things like show details, then maybe we'll do that when we are implementing the button. Let me quickly introduce the last contents there so we can. So this is one row, right? Please, do we understand this? This is one row like this. So the next row, div, class, column. I'm targeting small device. All right. Then we need bootstrap row here. You know, bootstrap has how many columns? 12 columns. We all know this. All right. So here we don't need we need only one column, because that's what what we're implementing to place. Column. Okay, within the column I write, I think from here I will understand what is it. Code, then department, right? The department, it's an input text. Okay, and this I need ID. The ID is department. I need the label, which is department. Is it correct? Is the spelling correct? Huh? Why are you not responding? Maybe this JSF is giving you tough time. I don't know really. Then we need, of course, tooltip. Before tooltip, let me write placeholder, supply what? Department title or name. This box is for department title. Then whether required or not, required true. Since it is true, we need to implement the required message. And this required message says, please supply the title of the department where this unit belongs. Okay, so let us see from our UI. If you reload, this is what you have. But we haven't done some things here. We need to treat here so it becomes right. So let's go back to of course medium. So it reduces to that screen length. The next I think is the button. So the button should be in another different div, and you give it this, and it's like there is problem. Okay, I have a bootstrap button here, I mean command button. You can use it, and the ID is maybe enroll button or register button. Register, and okay, here we introduce value, not level, and you write the name of the button if you like, enrollment or register or capture, anything. Then what's the look? Look at how it is going to, can you see it here? Now if you say look, let's say primary, you just if you say that's how it gives you. If you need it to be bigger than how it is, then you introduce style and give it a height. Let's see, 120 pixels for example. I don't know whether it will work. What I mean is I don't know whether this will be okay. So let us see. I mean the size, we see 120 pixels, then you give it a width that will correspond to that. You see how it is? It seems it is bigger, right? Let's say 80, and then this is style. If I want to introduce another style, I don't have to call style again. I'll just introduce statement terminator and give another style. Let's say width. Let me say 40 here, for example, pixels. And when you reload, you see now the width hasn't covered all, right? So you have to do something there. And I think the height is also let it be 60. And this you have like, let's say 90. Let's see how it works. It should be like let's see 130. Alright, there are things we need to do here. If I click on this button, can you see what happened? Please supply unit, please supply unit code, please supply the title of the department where this unit belongs. Who can tell me where these things come from? From message, of course, from message. If you remove message, you won't see it. And then the actual messages come from required, as you said, but it's message that or pop this. There are other ones you may not necessarily use a message. If you like, you can use grow. Come to where message is written. Let us use, I don't know whether grow belongs to, okay, it belongs to Bootstrap. Okay, and then here ID. The other one was message. Let me see with message 1. Okay, let me reload. Can you see what happened? Coming from where? The topmost right corner of the screen. That is grow. But message is normally like this. Are we understanding? So which one do we go for? Huh? All? No. Grow? Yes. Alright. Is it because grow looks okay, so now I'm not going to delete that. I have caught that, and then I will create a kind of comment, and it is there for you anytime you want to use it. Let me readjust the screen. Right? I think we are in the right thing. So whenever you click on the button, there is a need for you to update this. So please, I've copied this. Let us update it from the button. Prime faces can automatically update. I don't know if this is also updating automatically. But messages in parentheses update automatically. If you write auto, if it is not. I don't know whether it is the default. So let us do this, please. Update. You can update your form and all other components within the form. All right. But you have to be careful updating forms. We'll discuss these things. All right. Let me reload from this. So we'll have a fresh page. Can you see our this? They are using the mid. If you can see the messages, I mean the write-ups are very big because they are using the font size declared at where? At the body. Thank you. So let me override that by doing this. I introduce style, and then I will introduce a font size, and this should be small. Let me check from here. If I click without supplying anything, oh, it's 2, is it not? Well, I don't know, but it's supposed to have changed. Let's see extra small. And in this case, you see I'm not running from here because I didn't embed this page within the project. So I'm running as an individual file here. Individual file. We're going to integrate it, but not in this video. There are things we need to do before doing such. It's still there, so I don't know really. Maybe you check from let me introduce it on the form rather than on the component. Let's see how. I don't want this kind of UI things to waste our time. My intention is to do more. No, you see, this affected our design. So, nonetheless,
let's embed maybe they use header.
Let's
embed the glue. Let's embed header into the glue.
Or it should be within a div rather, a different div. Understand? This and this should be for the div. Just to please check this. We don't have time to waste here. These are very simple things. Just maybe we missed out something. I don't know. Okay, now where are we? This is what we've done. Now for us to, whenever you click on this, you need something to happen, right? Yeah. So this is part of what we have discussed yesterday in the theory class. Now let's go back to the Project Explorer, and we should explore this. Now this is UI, and you know JSF is MVC, right? Model View Controller. So come to source packages. This is where you write your codes, but inside what? Packages. Can you see the bin, the DAO, and the model? Can you see? So I've already created package, but if you want to create package, right click, go to new, and then you click on one Java package. Give it a name. Packages are always kind of um, domain name taken at the backwards format. Okay, backward format. So uh, so we need to do things with this. But the first thing we need to do is to come to model, right click, and create a new Java class. That's what I've just explained. If you want to create a package are domain name taken from the backside. If you reverse your domain name, all right, resultlogic.com, www.resultlogic.com. Now take it in reverse order, .com.resultlogic, right? That's how it is. So if you want to create package, you right click the source package. This is the folder, right? Source packages. That's where you write your Java codes. What we have done there is XHTML. I mean, it's HTML with a extension .xhtml. It is a UI, but here this way we are going to use Java codes for the implementations of our functionalities. So you right click, go to package, click, and then you start. Then you write the package name. Are you there? Then you write, and then I've already done that. Please let me check if my video is. I just recall. All right, it's working. It's running. It's running. So now to the packages. Then you right click and introduce a new Java class here. The Java class should reflect to. It should be descriptive to what you're doing. What are we doing? Unit what? Unit enrollment. So just give it unit. If you like, since unit looks somehow. Anyway, just give it unit. And then everything is okay. To create a Java class like this, please, we don't need all these things. This is nothing but telling you the information regarding your system. And can you see the auto? And then these are to do all these the auto. It will call the system name and gives you that. So we don't need all this. This is the end of the what? End of the class. Thank you. Now please look at the properties of your table, the fields of the table. These are the things you are expected to create there. Are you understanding? We have an ID, which is int, title, code, department, date registered, and done by. So this is what I will do. Okay. Private int ID. Private. The rest are string. Even ID, you can take it to a string, since you're not going to do any calculation with it. Title. Next, code, right? Is it? What next? Huh? Department. These are our variables. Next. Date registered. Next. Done by, right? told you this is a backend bin. All you need after this, you generate setters and getters for the code. You can right click, come to insert code, and then getters and setters, generate for all, and you are done. That is all about this. Please, do we understand what I've done?
Yes.
Declare the variables, create setters and getters for them. That's all. Please close it. You don't need anything to add to the model. You're done with it. Then let's go to. Let us go to the DAO. You know, we said we have one main DAO where a connection was done here. So we're going to create a DAO for the unit, and we extend it to this DAO, and then we begin to realize as it is done for department here, we extend it to rate here. We extend it to the main DAO, and we begin to write our codes that implement the backend. So let us now right click this and create another Java class here. In this Java class, you now say unit DAO. Okay, and that's all. I don't want this video to be lengthy. It's like it is going to be more than 30 minutes. Okay, maybe after this we'll have to get a place where we stop, so we don't all right, what is this? End of the class. All right, this is what? This is DAO, right? Okay, so you need to inherit the bigger DAO, so you need to extend to bigger DAO so you can inherit those properties of bigger DAO. What are the properties? I mean the main DAO. Look at the main DAO here. We have a property, a method that does connection here, so we want to inherit this. All right, and then the close. So then from here, then you begin to write your source codes. If I come up with something like this, public void, for example, unit enrollment, let me say method. Method. Then I end it here. End of the what? End of the method. So for me to do something here, there's no way I can do any kind of interactions with the DB without connecting, without having connection. Is it? All right. So, for example, if I say try catch, and then maybe I introduce finally. Okay, are we there? Let me quickly throw this exception here. Let me throw E here. I don't have issue with this. But in here, this is where I write the code that will insert what? Codes to insert tuples into what? Into DB. Thank you. This, it traps the exception, right? This is where we rinse out. We close all open properties. But you can, if you want to do this operation, can you do this please without having connection? No. So the very first thing you need to do here is, at the moment, either within here or out here, so you can utilize the connection even within the try block here. You quickly say what this dot. So what are we doing here? We are calling from the inherited what? Inherited dot, but actually it has to be within. It will tell you to either throw exception, or it has to be within try catch. So let's check. Can you see? If you leave it there, you throw the exception and it's okay. Are we understanding? And at this point, when you are done, you also do this dot what? Close. Alright? So we're done with this. Now what remains is to write the source code here that will do the insertion, and then we have to implement, we have to call the object of, we have to have a parameter here which will call from the unit, the model you have written, and then we embed and we start. Actually, we have to stop the video here. In the next class, we're going to continue from this and to the manage bin, where we can call it with our button. And thank you for watching. We urge you to subscribe if you haven't done any, and like as well. Thanks.